Okay, welcome back, y'all. Hopefully, y'all are like really gonna watch. But we decided to do an impromptu live because we ain't had nothing else better to do, honestly. Like, why not? And plus, we haven't ever went live like this on here. So, what's up, Leah? How's your week going? How's things going in Leah's world?
Things are good, I guess. I've been in my apartment officially for a week now. I need to do an apartment recap. I need to make note of that. Anyway, been in my apartment for a week now. I'm entering my second week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fine.
Okay.
Um, it's cool. It's not really anything adventurous going on. I haven't ventured outside of my apartment for real. I might try to change that though. Well, it's not a might. I'm gonna have to change that eventually because
Yeah, that routine of being in the house all the time, you'll get like swarmed into it. You gotta leave the house. You got to. Do
yeah,
they
I'm
got like a
kind of.
sitting area? Like how some people, some apartment buildings have like community rooms where you could just like sit up in there, work.
They have community areas, like they have a pool that they open up. They have like
Hmm.
a clubhouse that you can use. You have to rent it out. They have a movie room that you can use. They always do stuff in like within the apartment
Definitely go to that.
complex. So I do want to try to get out and go to that. That's going to be another way I'll just have to teach myself because it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get the services that I need.
Hmm.
As far as like you know, O&M goes, I'm gonna have to look that up and like do some more research on who I need to call because
Yeah.
the Voc Rehab doesn't offer that
Are there any
service at
training centers near
all.
you that could potentially help?
The closest one that I know of is in Smyrna, Tennessee, and that's not near me.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have to, like I said, I gotta do some research to
Yeah.
find out.
Well, hopefully VR can give you some resources. They should be able to help with that because I mean, if you're helping people with multiple disabilities, I feel like that should be a part of their service. It's so crazy. Like we both utilize Voc Rehab for different reasons, but this VR up here, they'll help with all that. If you needed to get to and from a grocery store, they'll show you how to be able to do that. Getting around the neighborhood, hell, public transportation.
Everybody's is different. They have
Hmm.
separate branches to do separate things. So they only help with employment and if you're trying to find a job
Yeah,
and if you're getting back into school, there's a whole separate like division for independent living. So they're not one and the same. It's a whole separate thing. So everybody's is different. And sometimes VR services don't help with as much in other states as they do in like maybe Indiana or other places. Sometimes the VR services they can only do so much, and it's other places that there are other services that kind of help out with like helping out blind people. I think was it Shy that said her VR is not the same for her as it would be for like us. She went through a whole different channel to get her
yeah.
services, something like that. So it just depends on how they set it up in each state to
We got two
work.
people that's in our comments. Hi, Heidi. And then some random person was like, it's 12 a.m. where they're at. So,
Oh, wow, it's early morning where you are.
right.
Your
It's a
day's
whole
getting
next day.
right, yeah.
But we came out here, y'all. We wanted to talk about some like hot topics that have been in the news. I guess we can first start off by, do you want to do the reunion or do you want to talk about Malcolm and Ozzy?
Let's get the sad stuff out the way first, and then we can be messy because it's kind of hard to transition from being messy to being sad.
That is true. That is true. So, Malcolm Jamal Warner, as we all know, fatally just, I mean, this was a
Very
sad
sudden.
time. Very sad. He's left behind a wife, a daughter, and just family and friends that truly have loved him over the years. Honestly, I haven't followed his career. I won't be one of those people that I saw today that pissed me off. Oh my God. You know how you'll watch a video and they'll be like, I've been following their career for so long. And then, like, all the positive stuff he's done just in 2025, they know nothing about. But, anyways, he has, I, he's, he was putting out podcasts. He was, a producer, well, not a producer, a songwriter, all that type of stuff. Like he was doing big, big things.
He was really well versed in the arts,
Yes, he
basically.
was. This is one of them ones that have shocked me. Like when Kobe died, that shocked me. When Malcolm passed, this definitely hit home because this is someone that we grew up watching over the years. So to
Yeah,
see
definitely.
how his like life ended, I think it's one of those things where we have to remember life is short. Live it to the fucking fullest. And he unfortunately passed the way he did. His daughter, did you see that his daughter was there with him when he tragically passed away?
So I'll say, for if you don't know how he passed away, he died. It was an accidental drowning. He died of asphyxia. He was in Costa Rica on a family vacation, and he was swimming in the ocean, and a current got too high, and that's how he ended up passing away. He was swimming with his daughter actually,
Mhm.
and luckily she survived, but he was the one that ended up, getting caught in the current. Some of the dumb shit I've been seeing on Twitter, oh, y'all got to learn how to swim. I don't give a damn if you are Michael Phelps. If the current is too high, it will
Mhm.
take you under. You can be the best swimmer in the world. If the currents are too high, you cannot beat water. You can't outswim water. Sorry. You just can't do that.
Mm-mm.
Um and from what it sounds like, he probably was a good swimmer, but the currents just got too high, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
It was just a very unfortunate accident.
And the guy that tried to help him, he ended up being in critical condition. I don't know his current state, but last time I saw something, it just said he was in critical condition. So
Yeah, I
that is
haven't even
sad.
really been keeping up with it, but like he's everybody knows Malcolm Jamal Warner for playing Theo on the Cosby Show, but he's had other things since then. Recently,
Mhm.
what came to mind that I remember was he got a lot of flack because he didn't want, I think it was him. He was working at a grocery store or something like that before. Was it him? I think it was him. And
I thought it was a Tyler Perry dude.
Tyler Perry offered him a role in one of his shows. And then he was recently he was on The Resident. Um
Mhm.
he had a role in there, and then he was also on 911. So he's done a lot since The Cosby Show.
Mhm.
But that was the first one of the first things that I thought about. I was on Twitter, I was at work. Don't don't say too much.
Leah telling on her damn self.
I was helping somebody on a phone call, and I had downtime, and I did everything I needed to do, and I was scrolling on Twitter, and I saw it, and the way that my breath left my body was like
Yeah, it's one
what?
of
It
those.
was one of
Yeah.
those like, wow, that is crazy.
Mhm.
Um that one, and it's always one of the things where it's like it hits when you get older, death hits home anyway, no matter how old the person is, because it's like it could have been anybody. And that's kind of how I felt when Kobe Bryant died, and that's been 5 years ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
When he died, I'm like, damn, he was so young. And like Malcolm Jamal Warner,
Mhm.
very 54 years old. That's
That's
still very
young.
young.
Yeah.
And I have people who are in their 50s in my family, so it's like, damn, that's really young when you really sit down and you think
Hell,
about
he's
it
still
still.
that's still of the age of like my mom. My mom's only like 51. So knowing if
Exactly.
she passed now, I'm like, you still have so much life to live at 50. Like you just peaked adulting for real. Like you just got it together somewhat. So
Like that's like after you've raised, and I think he had a young daughter, so
yeah,
like,
she was 8.
yeah,
Well,
so
is 8.
damn. Like, and that just makes it even sadder because it's like, damn, you won't get to grow up with your dad and like having him
Mm-hmm.
there for all the big moments. That's really fucked up. I don't even have any other there's no other way to say that. So
Mm-hmm.
I do hope that he is able to, I think he knows he was well loved, but I wish that this wasn't I wish that I we didn't have to even have this conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, I was just like, whoa, that is really sad. And all the tributes of people, I have to scroll past because I'm like, if I see one, I'm gonna see too many, and then I'm gonna get sad.
Yeah, it
So
kind of
it's
make
just
you
like,
a little emotional. I saw some people that was like,
yeah,
it's like we lost a big cousin, and that's really how it feels. Like
yeah,
that's how this
absolutely.
feels. And then in more sad news, Ozzy Osbourne passed away. And
Now
you
this one
know,
didn't really affect me as much. I don't really.
Leah's going to hell. She's going
I didn't say it wasn't sad. I
to
said it didn't
hell.
affect me that much. I don't. I didn't watch the Osbournes, and from what I've heard, he was not really a great human being. Like he
Yeah.
used to beat his wife really badly. And
Somebody said R.I.P. Ozzy.
he just didn't treat people well. When I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's sad. Now I knew he was having health issues, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't really. I don't know. Like Ozzy Osbourne was never in my living room, but Malcolm Jamal Warner
Yeah.
was. So that's why I'm just kind of like, oh shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He
Like
wasn't
that
somebody
hits me.
that we saw for real. Like,
Yeah.
I only knew of his family because of the show. So there's that,
Oh,
you
it's 10 people
know?
watching. All right, hey, 10 people. Y'all gonna like it up. Thank you. Share it. Do what you gotta do, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, that one didn't really hit for me. And there's gonna be a lot of them where it's just like they're not
Damn.
gonna hit for real
Yeah.
because I didn't really grow up watching them.
Culturally, we
Um,
didn't know
yeah,
him
and
the
there was
way
a
we knew
couple. There were a
Malcolm.
couple other sad stories too that came out about people, and sometimes it's not even about them. Like it's not even about them culturally growing up or them or me not really knowing about them. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I know that he's been in XYZ movies and he's a really good actor. And
Yeah.
so it's just really sad to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But Ozzy
Hmm.
Osbourne, the Osbournes period, I've never really gravitated towards them. That just wasn't my thing. But still, rest in peace
To
to
both of
him.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving from the sadness, y'all. Moving
Let's get
from
into
the
some mess.
sadness. So, okay. I saw a clip the other day. I don't know when this happened, but I'll just give y'all the situation, okay? So, say you come to work, you know that you just had a night of like wildness. You was out all night. You never went to sleep. Okay, so you went to work, left work, got home, handled your kids, went out. So you've come to work that day
You've
and you
been
have
up
not
24
slept
hours.
and you've been drinking and you come where you look, you know, you it's midweek too, mind you. This ain't even like a Friday or like a Saturday. No, this is like Wednesday. You come to work like this. I saw a clip of Just Hilarious. And I think this had to happen either a couple months or a couple weeks back. And she had to work drunk. And I was looking at this clip and I'm like, and they kept her. Like, they knew she was intoxicated on air and never stopped her mic, never told her to leave. And a lot of people I saw in the comments of the girl's video, they were like, if Angela Yee did this, she would have been ousted immediately.
Oh, immediately.
And I'm like, I don't know what just said to them, what she could have done, because this was this year. This wasn't like years ago. This fucking year. So,
She's only been with them like 2 years, so really it's not
hmm,
a real
you
whole
still
lot.
fresh in the company.
Yeah.
So when you said something about being on your phone at work and seeing, Malcolm had passed, I'm like, at least you didn't come to work drunk. At
I be
least
coming to
bare
work half
minimum.
tired. I be sleep on the phone half the damn time to be for real.
Listen,
Like,
me and Leah, okay, so I used to work the same job that Leah is working, different campaign, but same company. And I'd be on the phone in the mornings, good morning, that do my greeting or whatever. By the end of like lunchtime, good morning, well, good afternoon, thanks for calling. And I'm like,
it ain't
damn
even
near
lunchtime.
mumbling.
It ain't even lunchtime. The calls, like the job that we worked, the job that I work now, cause she don't do it no more. She got her a job that she actually likes to go to.
I love my job.
Anyway,
Shout out to my school.
nobody asked you. Nobody asked.
Shout it out.
Nobody asked you. The job that I work, I deal with people all day long, right? So it's like if you're not a social butterfly, it probably wouldn't be a job that you would even like. And
Hmm.
the more I work this job, the less I'm starting to like dealing with people. I'm not even gonna hold you because it's just like it's just too much.
It
I help
is.
people with their benefits, and like honestly, I can't like I'm helping people during a time where they've just lost their job. Some people are losing jobs where they were making 100,000, 200,000, $500,000 a year,
Hmm.
and they're going from bringing home checks that were triple digits to checks that were not triple digits, quadruple digits to checks that are like 275 every week for 2 weeks. So you get 275 times two, that's $550.
Yeah.
Who lives off of that? You know what I'm saying? And so rightfully so, like if they had some savings set to the side, great. But when you don't have any extra money coming in to replace that, your savings will dwindle quickly. You still
Very
got to eat.
fast.
You still got to pay your mortgage. You still got to pay your bills. You still have car insurance that you have to pay. Still got a car note. You got all these different expenses, and not to mention all the different like little pop up shit that be happening. Like, so just imagine you save enough for 6 months, but really you really need to save enough for about a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So I help
Hmm.
people in within their in between jobs, or they're trying to find another job. By the third call, I'm like, thank you for calling the reemployment assistance program. My name is, how can I help? Can I
Yeah.
have your can I have your social security number? And it's not that I'm trying to be like I don't have it even in me to be jolly, especially if it's one of them days where I just got yelled at and cursed out by three people back to back to back.
And they will cuss you out. I don't know what that's about. They gonna cuss
They
you
will
out,
curse you out. And it's
and they
just
don't
one of them
give a
things where it's
fuck.
like they do not give a damn. They don't give a damn that it's a human on the other end that they're talking to. And what they hate
Hmm.
is you telling me the same shit somebody else told me before. Okay. Well, what do you want me to do? Lie? I could lie to you, but then you're gonna be back on the phone again cursing out another agent.
Hmm.
And it's really one of them things where sometimes your coworkers make it really hard because they tell them things that they shouldn't be telling them.
Hmm.
And it's like now I got the, or they do things wrong that shouldn't be done. And so I have to go behind you and correct your error and let them know, hey, I'm sorry. This was there was something done on your claim that was done in error. I'm gonna fix, and now that's more time that they have to wait for that to get fixed. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So long story short, I don't ever come to work drunk, but I do be coming damn near half sleep. I get the job done, but I damn near be still sleep doing that shit.
I've definitely come to work because I work at a school now, y'all. I definitely go to work sometimes, and I'm dog tired. Because sometimes at night I'll wake up and I can't go back to sleep, and I gotta get up and I gotta
Oh my
be
god, and I
ready
hate
to go
that.
to work at like 6 in the morning. And I'm talking about ready to go and out the door at 6, like early as hell. So it's one of those things where sometimes rest don't do the body right because you didn't really rest. You was restless. Then by the time you hit work, it's like now I gotta have the next 8 hours here.
But
Shit.
the Breakfast Club been getting a lot of flack lately because they had I guess like a known racist on their show or whatever. And people were like, why did y'all give him a platform knowing the things that he said about black women and people of color? There's been a lot of mixed things said about the Breakfast Club where it's just like they're really not for the culture in the way that, people think that they are. They have, now don't get me wrong, they have some really good interviews.
Hmm.
But they've had very questionable moments amongst everybody. Just hilarious, especially Angela Yee has had her own share of questionable moments.
I know
um
just recently was on Carlos King's podcast, and I ended up watching the whole thing with her making her transphobic comments. And she was like, I apologize for what I said, and it was to one person. It wasn't like, she disrespected the whole community, but it was to this one person. And then after having the conversation and speaking out and righting her wrongs, people are still nailing her to the cross. I feel like sometimes social media drags things because a person could be remorseful and then
Definitely.
not do something that they have already apologized again. But it's like the internet lives on forever. So if you not like completely changing your profession, or if they ain't seeing you completely tore down, they're gonna keep bringing that up. Then the whole Country Wayne thing, right? When she was with him, as he told her, every interview you ever have, they gonna bring me up. And Carlos King brought him up. Now he didn't say his name, but everyone knew who he was talking about. And I was like, it was one of those things in the interview was like, you didn't
It
have
was
to bring him
unnecessary.
up. Yeah, like
Some
the
people
interview was
are
going
just there to be
great.
messy, and it's just like, what reason did you have to bring him up other than to start shit. And
Yeah.
the thing with Just Hilarious though is that like I don't think that was her first time making transphobic comments
Mhm.
about that particular community. You're never gonna be a real woman. You're never gonna bleed. You're never gonna da 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 this, that, and the third. And so I think it's one of them things where it's just like you know, you always make something about you make something transphobic when it's not. And I
Mhm.
think that's the issue that people have with Just Hilarious. And then also maybe there's some other problematic things that she's done in the past. I don't keep up with Just Hilarious, honestly. Just Hilarious, Beast Simone, all them. I don't keep up with them. I don't.
Hold on. I'm going to find the Jackie Chrissy video when it pertains to her daughter.
Oh, we got to talk about that. That shit
Yeah.
was wild. Somebody said on Facebook, somebody shared it and it was like, or posted it. Somebody said, "Did y'all see when Jackie punched Chantel, her whole hairstyle changed?" And I'm like, y'all really need to stop.
But
But what it
I'm
looked
a
like though.
I'm gonna go to Kempire's channel because he did a short about it and he kind of like wrapped it up pretty well. Because I haven't watched the Basketball Wives in a while. Like this
I never
honestly
watched
been
it,
years.
honestly.
It was like it was good for a while, but it felt like every goddamn season Jackie and her husband was having a wedding, and I'm like, okay, every fucking season we're gonna do this for real. That was a lot, but it kind of got redundant. But let me find this video real quick. But keep talking to the people. Keep talking to them. I'm just gonna
I
mute
have
myself so I
heard
can.
things about like the relationship between Jackie and her daughter. Again, I don't ever watch Basketball Wives, but I seen a tweet on Twitter that said Jackie and her daughters, her kids had went to therapy. And Jackie was like, I apologize for not being the mom that you needed me to be and not being there and all the things. And that they had accepted it. So it's like, what happened between that therapy session and now? Like what went on between now and then where y'all just didn't, where they didn't, where it's being brought back up again. And that's really a perfect segue into Real Housewives of Atlanta, but we're gonna get into that in a second.
Yeah, for real. But y'all just give me 1 second here.
We trying to find the video. I just feel like with that whole with like the being a good mom thing, like what was she doing that required her to be not as present for her kids? I know that
Girl running behind that man. It's that man. That man. It's
I was just gonna say I know that her and her husband have been married for a very long time. They were saying that they were filing for divorce. I saw the rumors about that, but I didn't think that was true.
mm-hmm.
I know that from little episodes that I have seen of Basketball Wives, Jackie and Doug is that his name? Doug Christie? Anyways, Jackie and her
Yeah,
husband
I
have
think
been
it's
married for
Doug.
like 30 some odd years or whatever. And he rarely ever has anything, he doesn't have anything about him in the media. Like he gets his money and minds his business. And we love that. We love them type of men. Okay, get your money, mind your business, and come home. Period. But it's like, what else happened other than her being, present for her husband? What else happened where it's just like where it kind of fractured their relationship? How the hell did the argument even start? Because I only see the clips where it was getting heated and Jackie was trying to de-escalate it and like saying, hey, okay, get out of my room. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hear what you're saying, blah, 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 blah. And I understand, like, first of all, what you're not going to do in my house. I don't give a fuck how old you is. You will not put your hands on me. I will fold your ass up. I don't give a fuck. I will fold you up. I will fold you up. That just is
I
what it
agree.
is. I will fold you the fuck up so fast. You ain't gonna even realize you folded. You gonna be in there with the laundry. Don't play with me in my house. It's just a level of respect. And I can understand, like, if she was a bad mom, if she was such a bad mom, and like if you just could not stand to be around her and you know that the conversation is not gonna go the way you want to go, there's a way to distance yourself. And I'm not saying that just that, Jackie being a bad mom was right, because at the end of the day, if you weren't present for your child in the way that you should have been, and you put a man above them every single time, that causes friction. And so that has to be addressed. Absolutely.
Yeah. I
But
found Kempire short too.
Okay,
to be
let's listen to that so I can shut up.
because the actual video is 11 minutes. So if y'all want to see this video, go to Kempire, Kempire, on YouTube. But y'all probably already know who this is, especially if y'all watch like drama videos. But here we go. I've watched this scene between Basketball Wives star Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel way too many times. Like an unhealthy amount of times. I have not watched Basketball Wives in such a long time. I kind of know what's going on, but I didn't realize this family drama was happening between Jackie Christie and Chantel. I really want to know, does Chantel know what rhetorical question means? Meaning that you shouldn't be expecting an answer. She said rhetorical yes or no question. I said,
Huh?
as someone that has not watched this is my disclaimer. As someone that has not watched this season and seen what's been playing out, just based off of this episode, because I saw the previous conversation that Jackie and Chantel had, which went left very quickly, but it didn't go physical. But this next conversation goes physical. I know there's speculation. At one particular point, you hear Chantel say to Jackie Christie, "Don't touch me." I think that was Jackie escorting her out of the room, but then Chantel pushed Jackie, and then Jackie went
Back
KO
that bitch back.
on her.
Beep 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 bop.
Again, with not having all of the context. But see, hold on, let me pause that, right? Because I had a situation with my mom. She had fresh out of prison. I'm talking, she wasn't even out a full fucking month. And she caught herself hitting me. And my auntie defended me because she's like, what the fuck? Like, Aisha's grown.
That's
Like,
a
what are you
grown ass
doing?
woman. What you doing?
Yeah. So I didn't hit my mom back. And I have enough respect to be like, despite the issues me and my mom do have with communication and all that and her not
I probably
understand
would hit
stuff,
mine back.
I'm I'm not gonna hit her. That lady got some thick hands, okay? I'm calling the police. But I feel like in this moment, I feel like Jackie's daughter intentionally had a moment and didn't think that her mom was really gonna do that.
Yeah,
Because you can't put your hands on me and expect me not to touch you. You asked for that. Like point
exactly.
blank, period. But let's finish them. Of what's happened between them. It did feel as if Chantel was reaching to have some sort of issue. Yes. I don't know
Yeah.
if Chantel has been on the show recently or if this is her first season being on the show, because I haven't really seen their family drama play out like that on the show.
Yeah, they never
I
really
just
had
can't
it.
imagine pushing your mother like that and not expecting your black mother to black mother you. For real.
And Jackie Christie never gave I play around.
Violence. I'm never. And I know, like, from watching the show, this is years ago. This was probably back when I was still in high school. And Jackie would be like, my relationship with my daughters aren't the best. It's not 100%, but, I still love my kids. And I'm sure growing up, there was some like neglect there, not necessarily physical, but like more of that mental neglect. Like a young girl needs their mom.
Needs her mom.
And if she
Yeah.
was running after Doug, trying to make sure Doug wasn't cheating and trying to marry the man every year, I'm pretty sure there was some type of neglect there because you weren't physically there. Parents
There,
feel like
yeah.
sometimes, you know, we pay for everything. We are providing financially, but financially means nothing if you're not there for your child.
You know,
That's something I even
time is
had an
the only
issue with.
form of currency that as kids we recognize. And
Yeah.
come on now, even growing up as an adult, like you sometimes when we become adults, we forget because we spend majority of our lives as adults, not as
Yeah.
kids. So we forget a lot. It's real easy for us to forget what it was like to be a kid and what kids
Yeah.
require. And it's like, come on now, you got to put yourself back in them shoes. You might have to travel back a few decades, but put yourself in them shoes of what it was like to be a kid and how you would have felt if you didn't have the type of time that you were depriving your kids of. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's get back. Just saying, what do you expect? A retaliatory response. But shout out to all the Basketball Wives fans. I know you guys will give me the cliff notes in the comment section. What exactly has been playing out this season? What is Chantel's issue? Because based off the conversation I saw from this episode, I'm still trying to figure out what is your issue with Jackie? And then those digs that you took about her towards her marriage sounds like, have you been watching the show and listening to what these other people say? Based on what I know so far and what I've known for many years, and they're still going strong, Doug loves him some Jackie Christie, no matter how anyone else feels about her. But my
that is
sense
his
is,
boo
and you
boo.
guys will let me know if I'm wrong, It seems as if she was reaching to have some sort of issue. And I think her daughter is like married now. I think she got kids of her own. So it's like, are you jealous of your mom's relationship with your dad? Like, what the fuck really is the problem? I don't know if we should play like a sound bite from, who is it? VH1?
No, they make copyright as hell now.
Yeah. But
We tried to
definitely y'all go. Right. Peacock was like, you thought.
I was like, take that shit down.
Immediately. Oh my God.
Y'all
But
can
I,
it's all over the internet. Y'all can go watch it. It's everywhere. It's
yeah.
everywhere. You can literally find it.
But you can't expect to put your hands on somebody and especially like an older, like, first of all, how old is Jackie Christie? Like,
She got to be in her 50s now. Got to be.
voiceover on YouTube. How old is Real House? It's not Real Housewives. Shit. What is it called? Basketball Wives. How old is basketball wife Jackie Christie? Okay, I found this on the web. Oh my God. Is basketball wife Jackie Christie. Check it out. Show Google result.
How old is Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives?
54.
Yeah.
2025. Ellipsis. Jackie Christie.
Okay.
Longtime
I
star
found
of
this on the web
Baby
for
Bubbles
how old
Babble.
is Jackie Christie from
Baby
Basketball.
Bubbles Babble.
They
Baby
full
Bubbles
of
Babble.
they full of shit with
Voiceover
that
on.
one. But 54 is too damn old to be fighting. I know that. I know it's that. My mama 51 and she'll tell somebody in a heartbeat, I'll put my hands on you, I'll beat you up. You're 51. Like,
She's
sit
55
down.
years old. She she's
Too old.
she's about to have a birthday. I think like in a few
It was for
days.
the camera, despite what she was saying that Jackie was doing things. Pause. Get away from my camera, Empire. Get away. Get away.
That was. But here's my thing too, right?
Even though the youngest be hitting on me all the time. Okay. I
If
had
you've
to
ever
exit.
if you've ever seen an episode of Basketball Wives and the way them wives be fighting on there,
They
Jackie
be throwing
Christie ain't
blows.
never ever gave I'm the bitch to play with.
Mm-mm.
It
And
it,
she
it
got them
don't
strong arms.
it don't matter who it was. And another thing to note too is like it's one at a certain point, you know what I'm saying? You have to
Mm-hmm.
take some ownership for how your how your life turns out.
Yeah.
Because you have at a certain point you got to stop blaming the fact, oh, my mama wasn't there, so this, that, and the third, and da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to reconcile within yourself and bring closure to yourself, because sometimes that doesn't come from other people. You are not going to always get the explanation that you feel you are owed, or you're not going to always get the apology.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I seen on Twitter that they had went to therapy and they had squashed everything. So it's kind of like, what is happening? What happened that kind of brought up, that rehashed something that was supposedly, buried? And then it's like, because even in the clip that I saw, go call daddy, get him on the line, get him on the line. When your daddy find out what you did, which it sounds, I feel like with the aftermath of all of it,
Yeah.
Doug is not gonna be too happy with the fact that you put, because at the end of the day, before she was your mama, she was my wife. So
Yep. You
I
put
don't
your
I don't
hands on
play
my wife.
I don't play like that.
Yep.
So
I feel like this is one of those situations that's going to be needed to be handled off camera. They
yeah.
don't need to show any more. And I've been watching a lot of Carlos King. Sorry, y'all, if I keep making references, but like, I've been watching a lot of Carlos King because he's been making some good stuff. And he was like, as a producer, one of his um people on Love and Marriage Huntsville, her mom is an active crackhead, and they went to a crack house, and he was like, immediately, shut this down. No, no,
Yeah.
we're not
Immediately.
watching that, because he said, I don't want to step over to that boundary of exploitation, and then let this be the reason why this woman goes off to the deep end and like overdoses and something like that.
But it's putting other people in a situation that didn't ask to be. She didn't ask for her
Yep.
to be on television. This is about her daughter. So
Yep.
if her daughter decides to share, something about her mom and her struggles, then that's one thing.
Yep.
But to exploit a storyline for views and ratings, and especially when
Hmm.
that person never consented to it, they're not contractually obligated to do that. That's something totally different. And I do agree, like, if the situation, not my bed being squeaky. If the situation is that bad, where it's bringing up a lot of it's reopening a lot of old wounds, maybe they don't need to be, putting that on camera. We had this same conversation about like Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is this is like a perfect segue into that. The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we had the same conversation about we didn't really see a lot of their kids this season. Kempire, why are you still going? We know. We didn't
For
see a
real.
lot of their kids this season. And I'm like, or we didn't see a lot of like Angela's storyline with her daughters and stuff like that. And I said, well, maybe they just chose not to add that in there because that is something that is too sensitive. And you know how people are with them fandoms, like they get a little bit too comfortable having commentary on these people as if they're not real, you know. So I definitely think that should be a situation that gets handled um off camera where there's not a whole lot of eyes watching.
Video player.
I'm here. I had pulled up a the Real Housewives clip from Empire.
We gotta talk about them too because Shamea is getting on my nerves.
For real.
Shamea is
For real. At
Shamea's
this
getting
point,
on
it's
my
a lot.
nerves. Let's play the clip and then we can talk about it on the other side.
Now he did an actual video. Let me find the short to this. Hold on. He's a good hub. I love his channel.
Yeah, I follow him on my other page. I used to follow him on my main page, but then I was like, I want to follow you on my
Details
other.
behind Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Oh, wait a minute. Shamea though is really getting on my nerves. How many people in here? Mm.
Social media.
Okay, I found it.
Shamea.
So this is the clips from what the hell is his name? Kempire.
Are you okay? Not only did Drew
Can you hear
post
this?
receipts to her Judith Lieber
A
bag,
little bit.
Judith Lieber is chiming.
Okay, hold on.
Shamea, are you okay? Here's part 2 of what's been going on social media.
Or maybe I should start with part 1.
Shamea, we have breaking news that star of the Shamea, are you okay? Not only did Drew post the receipts to her Judith Lieber bag, now Judith Lieber is chiming in and confirming that Drew's bag is real. But my
She
real
was really
question is,
grasping.
why did
She really was.
She was really grasping. Well, you lied about a lot of things, like
She
that
said like
bag,
what?
girl. Get the fuck on. She pissed me off with that, girl. Please go to hell, cause
She
your
had
ass
her
ain't have shit to
moment.
say.
Yeah, she really had her love moment.
Shamea care? And why is she still talking about it on social media? So if you saw part 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, then you saw that one of the examples that Shamea brought up of how Drew is such a liar was the fact that this Judith Lieber bag was fake.
This is the
So of
bag.
course, Drew decided to post her receipt, her actual receipt of how she's not a liar and how she did purchase this bag from Bertolf Goodman. So you can see this here.
It's a real receipt.
That did not stop Shamea from
Then what happened?
going on social media, posting side by sides of how Drew's version was the fake. So Drew took to her social media to repost this conversation between Hot Thick Chick One, who asked Judith Lieber to weigh in, and Judith Lieber says, "This is the Judith Lieber Couture Martini Cosmopolitan bag."
Exactly. Now shut the fuck up.
Not only that, Drew, continuing to be the MVP of this reunion, says, Shamea Morton, take this L, and can we move forward? She's giving you grace here, Shamea.
She
I don't
really
know why
was
Shamea
trying.
decided to beat a dead horse when it comes to Drew.
So then let's go to part 2.
Shamea, are you okay? Here's part 2 of what's been going on social media between the ladies from the Real Housewives of Atlanta since part 2 of their reunion. If you missed it, I already did a video talking about what played out between Drew Sidora and Shamea on social media since the reunion in regards to that Judith Lieber bag. Judith Lieber is now weighing in, confirming that Drew's bag was actually real. But if you watched part 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion, then you saw the fight between Porsha and Shamea was just heating up towards the end.
So
Porsha says, I have receipts. I went to your wedding. I also sent you a congratulatory bouquet, which you sent me a video saying thank
He
you.
definitely
It's
couldn't
not
keep her
an
story
extra.
straight.
And didn't like on the series in the show, didn't we see like a scene where she did confirm like yes, Portia did come to my wedding? Didn't she say that?
She said her Kenyan wedding, but she was trying to say that we didn't have a wedding in Atlanta. That's not what that's called. That's not.
Well,
But her husband, but she was like, if I asked your husband, he would say that there was a wedding in Atlanta. Well, yeah, he
yeah,
would say that, but I don't consider it to be a wedding. Girl, it was a fucking wedding.
it was a
She
wedding.
really was, she was really doing the most in this
Yes.
reunion. And it just gave like, you know that you've done some dirty, grimy shit that we either seen on camera or that we didn't get to see off camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are calling you out on it. And that's what happens when this could be its own episode in and of itself or its own video in and of itself on the page. That's what happens when you get to running your mouth about your friendship of 20 years to girls you just met 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
One thing that Shamea will do that I've noticed in like just from watching the show and like watching this reunion,
When it
you
comes
will hold
to
on to a
African
grudge.
weddings.
Hold on, I'm
However,
trying to pause it. My finger slipped.
She will hold on to a grudge like it ain't nobody's business. Let's play the rest of the video and then I can
All
finish
right.
my little rant.
things. I've seen some people say the dowry ceremony is a wedding. I've seen other people say, no, it's not a wedding. Some people have shamed Portia like you were married to a Nigerian man and you still don't know the tradition. You want to know how I really feel?
And Portia had a traditional
But they're
Nigerian
not.
wedding.
But this really goes to show the ignorance of people because Nigeria, and I believe Shamea's husband is not Nigerian.
Yeah, I think he's
He's
Kenyan.
Kenyan. So y'all shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? That's not even the same fucking thing.
Not. It's like when somebody be like African and African American. Is that the same? No, one's from Africa and one is from America. We are not.
Well,
We're the same, but we're
well,
not the
we're
same.
descendants of Africa, so technically we are one and the
Technically,
same.
yes, but
Technically, yes.
Africans most times don't even. They don't claim us. They don't claim us.
They ain't
Some
got
of
to
us.
claim us. History claims us.
That is true.
Hey, it
That
don't
is
matter
true.
what you think. History says that they snatched those people from over here and over there and brought them over here and we here. But
Hmm.
how else? Anyway,
Now let's keep listening to this damn girl's lies. The lies. Come on, Kempire, play.
I really don't care. We talked about this years ago.
Yes,
And
we
back
did.
then, Shamea
literally.
had an issue with Portia not coming to her African wedding in Africa. You can pause the video to read what Portia posted in regards to her receipts on the reunion. If you see the extended version of the reunion, you actually see her show the receipts,
Which we
but
saw.
they didn't show it on the Bravo version. So she says in her first slide that the first wedding, she showed a footage from, I guess, the dowry ceremony
Oh
here
yeah,
in the
they
States.
showed. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the
yeah.
second line was the flowers that she sent to Shamea. Again, you can
Yeah,
pause
her
the video
peach.
to read what
Yep.
Shamea had to say in
And
regards
Shamea was
to
excited.
this
Oh my God,
wedding.
that's how you do it, girl.
Yep. She was in the damn video. My peach, I got my peach. So come on, Shamea. Come on.
That
My
Portia attended, she explains it here. And she also talks about her flowers, which were sent during her birthday week. Portia puts a
yeah.
PS here, says Shamea is lying again in her latest post. She claims the flowers for her birthday when the card I sent in the flowers clearly say love and congratulations, queen. We also saw the video footage where she says she's got her peach, blah, blah, blah. Look, we know Portia to be a liar over the years. However, based off of this reunion,
Yeah, she came with
the
that.
biggest
She
liar that
did.
came out from this reunion has to be Shamea. She
Shamea.
was caught in so many lies. This whole conversation about an alliance is so
Childish.
That's so
It's
high school.
fucking
That is
childish.
so weird. We ain't gotta watch no
It
more
gives
Empire.
it gives high school. It gives we're the
Bitch, this is
freshmen.
not Big Brother. We do not have to form an alliance.
It was so weird. And then for her to be like, no, I tried to include you in it. I tried to include you. No, you weren't. Originally, the fucking alliance was gonna be Kelly, Britt, and Shamea. They were the three pretty girls. That's the way they were going to go with that angle, right? Because all of them very much have the same personalities at times, and they were the new girls coming in. Angela was probably only going to be added in there out of like, I guess, pity, but they kept calling the bitch old, so she wasn't fitting in. So
But my thing is, they're the same fucking age. Like
literally,
everybody on I think Shamia maybe just turned 40 or 41 or however old. But it's the same. Y'all in the same age range.
y'all
The
all
only person that's
40.
oldest, that's the oldest out of the group is probably Cynthia and then Phaedra.
Phaedra, yep, yep,
And if Kenya Moore was still on the show, it would have been Kenya. It would have been Cynthia, Kenya, Phaedra.
yep.
Those would have been the the three oldest women on the show. And it ain't nothing wrong with being old, because a lot of folks ain't making it to that.
And then
But
it's like, how do you make an alliance with someone and you don't even like the bitch? Shamea did not like Britt from day one. So I'm confused on how they sat down and had the conversation of an alliance. This girl
I'm
was
just
literally asking
confused.
her some crazy shit day one.
My thing is like, okay, me and you, we've been friends it'll be 5 years in May, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would never go and talk about my friendship, my issues with you as my friend with a girl that I've only been friends with for 5 months.
Yeah, it's
One thing
fucking
that I
weird.
noticed with this group is that whenever there was some mess between Portia and Shamia, they latched on to it. And
Mm-hmm.
that came because Shamia was running her mouth. Why you see Portia every other day? You have Portia's phone number. That's the fucked up thing about all this. You have my phone number. We've been
Yep.
girls for 20 years. I've been knowing you longer than I've known a lot of these folks on this cast.
Yep.
And you mean to tell me that you never felt comfortable enough to come to me and say, hey, like, I don't like you're not showing up for me in the way that you usually do as my friend, and I don't understand what it is. You mean to tell me you can get no understanding? Even with Phaedra, there was I think years ago, maybe they showed it. I don't know if the clip that they showed was from this past season or
That
this
was
current
season
season.
9. That was
Okay,
season 9.
that's what I thought.
Yep.
Even then, she was like, "Well, they say Shamil sleep with everybody, and that we don't know if that's true or not." You
Yep.
held on to that for what, 7 years? This is
Yep.
season 16. You held on to that for 7 years and you ain't say nothing. Even when I was sitting up there watching it, I'm just like, why the fuck didn't you say? I probably shouldn't curse on here because they might strike it. Whatever. Why didn't you say anything about that if it bothers you so much? Why didn't you say something when y'all were having that private conversation? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
wait until now? And then well, now I'm just gonna say that she apologized and we've moved on from it. You should have been said it, because then she apologized to you anyway during like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he holds a grudge, and I just feel like, what for?
And then still being friends with Portia, right? And then knowing that she didn't like the friendship between Portia and Phaedra, didn't say anything. She holds. It's not even necessarily just grudges. She
She
it's
just
she
holds shit
holds
in.
information and don't express herself. Like, I don't know. I feel like at one point in time I could see myself in Shamia, but Shamia's fucking older than me. She's older than me. There's no excuse for this. And it's one of those things where it's like, in those moments, say what's on your mind. We tell kids this at the school I work at. If you feel a way, if you're uncomfortable, speak your mind the first time.
Because it
Do
ain't about
not
how you
hold that
say it. It's
in.
not about what you say, but how you say it.
It's how you
Shamia
say
gives
it.
me the vibe of, Shamia is just like like folks in a romantic relationship. You don't start talking about things that bother you until I start telling you stuff that bothers me. So now
Mm-hmm.
because you look bad, now you want to try to put me in the same light, and you
Yep.
want to talk about shit that happened 30 years ago. Girl,
Yep.
you can go to hell, because I don't want to hear about it now. Apparently, it didn't bother you enough to bring it up when it
Mm-hmm.
happened to you. So don't try to dog pile on me now and bring it up now that I'm expressing to you how I feel and how what you did affected me. And Shamir really has it. She has that really, really bad
Real
with
bad.
not really going, like, with not talking about the things that not talking about things that bother her.
And I
I
feel
just
like
noticed that a
Portia did a
lot.
good job with being like, you're going to hear me now. You're going to hear me speak because clearly there hasn't been a conversation off camera. They've unfollowed, well, Portia unfollowed her after, I think, part one or two. She ended up unfollowing her on social media. So all this time, she had still been following her. Shamea then goes on different podcasts, getting interviewed, downing Portia, but all the while in private, like, oh no, that's still my girl, that's still my friend. Bitch, publicly we not friends. Clearly we're not friends if you can be
Clearly, there's a
on an
disconnect
interview
somewhere.
and say some crazy stuff out your neck.
And my thing is, like I said, they both did their dirt
Mm-hmm.
within this friendship, both privately and publicly. There's some stuff that they have done that might not ever see the light of day. We might not ever know about it. Or we might, because
Mm-hmm.
Shamia might tell it. Who knows?
Shamea might just
She
do a
talks too
song
goddamn
about it,
much.
child.
But Portia was running around telling people about the friendship with Shamia. But I feel like Portia didn't do it as much as Shamia did. Because people seem to
Mm-hmm.
know a lot more when Shamia tells it versus when Portia says something.
Mm-hmm.
And she was quick to get upset. Shamia was quick to get upset. So well, apparently she believes you. You damn right I believe Angela. I know you.
Yeah.
I've been your friend for 20 some odd years. I know you. I know how you get down. I know how you operate. So I believe you said it.
Yeah.
That girl ain't got no reason. That lady has no reason to lie to me. I don't know Angela from a can of paint.
Yeah.
And I know that you said what you said because how else would Angela know? How else would Angela be privy to that information? I only shared it with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like shit like that is just like what is really going on within that friendship. And then even like she was like, I'm okay with letting my friend shine and being here in the back. That's not no, you're not
Nah.
okay with that. You're lying. You're not
She
okay
was
with that.
never
You are
okay
never
with
okay
that.
with that. When you got your moment to be on the show and you got to show off, you feel like Portia was being a little bit jealous of you. Portia
Yep.
has her moment on the show. She's had a moment on the show for a long time,
Yep.
up until she decided to get married. And she what season 14 was when she left the show
Yeah.
and left got married and did her own thing. You don't know how to navigate, and I'll give her a little, just an inch of grace, but not too much, because at the end of the day, you've been friends long enough with people to where you should know how to navigate your friendship. Because at the end of the day, when y'all go home, y'all these you might only hang out with these girls because you film together, but you hang out with Portia because that's your friend for real. I'll
Yeah.
give her a little bit of grace and say navigating your friendship in this type of environment with these girls can be very tricky. And whenever they feel like it's lopsided to their eyes, they definitely can make their opinions be known. And if there is the slightest crack in the foundation of the friendship, they're going to make it bigger. They're like little termites that like to just
Mm-hmm.
dig and dig and dig until they splintered the wood. And that's what happened. And so now there's this massive, on top of like all the other stuff they had going on, there's just this massive crack in their friendship. And if it gets repaired, cool. But if not, we know why. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
to watch this stuff play out is really sad. We've been
Well, they
girls for all
said
this
they're not friends
time.
no more. Shamia didn't want to say it, but Portia said it. She was like, "Well, there's no friendship," and then Shamia was like, "Yeah, we're not friends."
Well, and the thing they was like, what's communication been like? They were both kind of hesitant. It was like,
They
well,
didn't
there
want to
is
say it.
none. There
Yeah.
is no communication at all. And I know, like, we probably had our moments where like we didn't, maybe one of us said something that the other one didn't like, so we didn't talk to each other for a little minute. It didn't make us not friends, but like
Yeah.
you can have your moments where you're on ice with a person, you're still friends. Just like you and your husband, y'all argue all the time. I ain't talking to that nigga right now. Forget him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're divorcing. It just means right now we're not in a space where we can talk to each other and not want to cut
So
each
that
other's
just
throat.
means right now, fuck that nigga. I'm not feeding him.
Exactly.
He
That
can
that's
go
all
fuck
that means.
himself.
And it's like I think for right now, that's what that is. It's just like right now, fuck her. Because she's really pissing me off. But it's like,
But how, see, this is my thing, right? This is when I would have to defend Portia in this moment
yeah,
because Portia did not go on multiple interviews,
yeah,
multiple podcasts, and slander Shamia. She did not once do that. I can say in this whole season, Shamea did a lot of weird sidebar shit. And anything that we did see, Portia do, it was on the
It
camera.
was, yeah.
It was never like, well, you did this to me too. It was given, you're doing this unprovoked. And then the times where Portia didn't show up or she was late to something, Shamea knew. She made it seem like, she wasn't being called, she wasn't getting texts at her birthday party. Portia was late. Portia texted her, and it came out that she had texted that girl and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be late. I got a lot going on." So then, what the other events where Portia didn't show up because she had family stuff going on. I mean, throughout the season, we saw Portia had some real shit going on in
Yeah,
her.
she had a lot going on.
Yeah, her obligations to the show wasn't the first thing that she needed to take care of. So she took care of home. But I feel like Shamea and Portia both are in this space with their friendship. It's like, I don't want to say too much, or at least Portia is, because Shamea is still saying weird fly shit, but then want to be like, well, I was still a good friend to you. You were not. And you got to admit that you were not a good friend to that girl. Like, even me, I have said, I could say one thing to one friend and then I go back and repeat it. But then that friend think, oh, well, you probably talking about me to someone. So no, you're not the topic of our conversations. Why would you be the topic of our conversations? You ain't got nothing to do with that girl. Hell, we've had situations where an old friend of mine hit Lyah up on some like, don't trust Aisha, don't fuck with that bitch. She's gonna do you dirty. What? Like, get the fuck out
Yeah,
of her
you got
fucking
left
inbox.
on red because bitch, who the fuck are you?
What? Like, what is happening here? So I feel like Shamea want to sit here and play victim, but then it's like y'all both did wrong, yes,
You're
but
both the
Shamea, you
villains in your
fucked
story.
up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you really fucked up. So I guess to lead away from that, Angela, Miss Oakley, listen, I
Her story doesn't make sense.
that don't make sense.
Her story doesn't make any sense to me because I'm trying to figure out, how do you gather that Phaedra has something to do with old boy coming there saying that
Mm-hmm.
he knows your husband because they went to high school together and he knows his sister. He knows that
Mm-hmm.
her brother knows that dude's sister or whatever. I'm like, anybody could have went to high school with, hell, Nene and Phaedra probably went to the same high school at one point. So that does that
Mm-hmm.
mean Nene has something to do with it too? Like, I'm trying to make it make sense. And
It gives
I just
like
don't. I don't. I'm not putting it together. She lost. She's losing me.
Angela reached as far as she can go. And I feel like, because a lot of people feel like this was like one of those scenes that was planted by the producers. At
Yeah,
this
it
point,
definitely
that's what
gave
it
that.
is.
It definitely gave that. And they've had other scenes. I feel like this scene gave the same energy as something else that we've seen before in the show, where
Mm-hmm.
somebody came and was like, "Oh, well, I know your husband." I
Mm-hmm.
cannot remember what fucking season it was, but like, it reminded me of a scene from a prior season that we had already witnessed before.
Yeah.
And then, but my thing too is like, okay, to the point of, okay, why, if he is telling the truth, why, if it was Phaedra, why wasn't he so quick to say that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, okay, it was Kelly, it was this person, it was that person. Why are you pointing so many fingers
Yeah.
at people?
Stand on who you said it was the first time.
Yeah,
You
or
shouldn't needed to do all that extra.
exactly. Like, why are you acting like that towards people? Like, just say who it was and get it over with. Why is it
Yep.
that, it's all these different people?
And if she asked somebody in the high places that she said she asked, then she should know exactly where he came from. She should know this information. And pulling this convoluted fucking map of Owens, this person, because this person went to school with that person and it's his sister. The, who like
And Phaedra
girl
even called her brother on the reunion and
on the
was like,
reunion?
"Do you know Kim such and such?" I don't even know what it is. Well, that's your brother, and of course you're gonna say that, and of course he's gonna tell you he doesn't know, or maybe he doesn't.
He
Maybe
really
maybe that
don't.
is something that just isn't quite making sense to anybody. I don't know. It,
Mm-hmm.
it just never gave. I don't know, man. I
Cause
don't
if I
know.
call my brother mid afternoon on some like, you remember Roger from fucking school '84, he gonna be like, what? Do you know how long nigga?
Why would I
He's
remember
in
that?
his 30s. Like what the? He's
Why would I
in his
remember that?
30s. Like what the? He gonna be like, "What the fuck are you? Should get off my phone." Like that's how that would be.
Why would I remember that? But and then it's so random. Why would I? Why would I? No, I don't. Why am I
No,
supposed
I
to?
don't know exact. I don't. I ain't never met a Roger. Never. Like that. That's how that
Seriously.
would go. Angela's storyline the entire season just gave. Okay, let me go ahead and fast forward. Let me come back real quick because maybe I'm gonna miss something if I keep going too far. No, no, I never missed anything. Never missed nothing. Like I felt like they were trying to give her a storyline because she didn't come. She didn't come with one. You
She
know,
really
the
didn't
other
have one.
girls. Yeah, the other girls had the. Let me say this: the only storyline that she had going that was real is Charles was not picking up that goddamn phone when they went to Grenada. Eh, He did not pick that phone up for that lady for like
That and the fact that her family was like kind of uh she felt like her family was not really appreciative of like what she had going on or things that she's done for them. So that sort of storyline, and the storyline was like her daughter, getting married and not telling her about it. But that wasn't really much of a, she didn't have much of a storyline going on.
mm-mm.
They really are dragging out, like they do at every reunion, they're really dragging it out, trying to make
Yeah.
it more of something that it's not for real, trying to read more into stuff. And it's just like there's not really much here with Angela.
But with Angela, so her daughter is married to a woman from, I believe, I don't think she's married to a man. I wonder if she said something to her daughter, maybe once, maybe a few times in passing, and her daughter didn't feel comfortable to tell her mom, I married a woman. Because if you knew that your child liked the same sex, was it one of those things where her daughter didn't feel welcomed to be able to have those conversations with her? Because she trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just so hurt about this. And yeah, you probably were hurt about it, but if you didn't support her relationship with this girl, why would she tell you?
Yeah.
Let's not play fucking victim. Like that
Yeah, I
part
don't.
really confused me.
Yeah, I don't really know I don't know what's going on with that, but she just didn't really have
Hell, they
much
should
of
have
a
made her a
storyline
friend
this
of.
season.
That's what the fuck they
Definitely a
should
friend
have.
of, because it just never really gave like people kept on saying that. And then Kelly, the one thing I'll say about Kelly is that you were you were Britney's hype man.
Mm-hmm.
You were the follower of hers.
Why they kept calling Shamea a lap dog. Shamea might have been a
Yeah.
lap dog, but Kelly, you was too,
You
motherfucker.
do we know about that baby though? Like, girl, what are you talking? Then when when Britney starts turning on you, now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Now you're singing a
Mm-hmm.
different tune, and then it's like now
Mm-hmm.
you falling out with everybody, and now you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
what's your issue?
Because
What's your
at this point, I
problem?
think her and Angela would be the only two. Well, that would be like her only closest friend on the show because she don't. I don't. Did she fuck with Drew? No, I don't know. I felt like Drew. No, what's her name? Kelly and Portia. I don't know what the fuck happened with them two for them to be going at each other like that on
I
on
don't
a
even know what
reunion.
happened. I don't know what happened or why they fell out, but I do know that Kelly started it off like, why did you steal that girl's husband?
Hmm.
And Portia is just like, girl, that's old news. But no, but why did you do that though? No, they weren't. They were supposedly going through a divorce. They were separated, but he was still very much a married man. But Portia, honestly, I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, Portia got her karma with that
Yeah,
marriage, because you don't build your foundation on another woman's uh
literally the
tears.
backs
Like
of that relationship.
like
Yeah.
yeah, you don't do no shit like that. And people are trying to say, oh well, that wasn't really my friend. Like, I knew her, but that wasn't a friend of mine. Like, still, whether she was a
Mm-mm.
friend or not, that man, you were lied to. You thought he had a certain type of lifestyle, and he didn't. And he
He did
bamboozled
not.
your ass. And now you're having to, and now you got to get up and like get back to it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So Portia got her ass handed to her with that one, because she was flying. Then you moved so fast with them. Y'all only were together for not even a whole year before y'all got engaged.
I think it was like all the 15 months. Everything was in the hots.
Like, it was quick. It was
Yeah.
like, and then like Tamron Hall was like, She said something about she went on the Tamron Hall show. She was like, I didn't like Tamron Hall because I didn't like how she was. I didn't like how she interviewed me. No, but because she was just being real. You don't think it's too soon? Well, we're dating. Well, I've already dated my husband. You don't date your husband still? Like I understood the point, but it's just like I understood the point of what she was saying, but it's just like you ain't even known that you don't know this man for 15 minutes and you're already engaged to him. Like I know when you get older, you know what you want. But come on
Hmm.
now, that was rushed.
I think Portia definitely just wanted somebody to call hers because after her last marriage, that's when I got introduced to Portia. I didn't know Portia before, her last husband. That, umpteen years ago at this point. But we saw how she tried to be the very submissive wife, the obedient wife, and then with this relationship, well, this marriage with Simon, she definitely was on some like, okay, I'm on my boss stuff now.
But she didn't do
And
it as much because she was just like, he's gonna take care of. I think she was under the assumption, even in the show, she was kind of like, we got to get back to, promoting the hair, and get back into my businesses because now it's just me. At first, I wasn't really doing that. I was really trying to settle into being a wife, and I kind of lost my identity there for a little bit.
she thought she was gonna find herself a rich Nigerian man, and it didn't
Yeah,
give that. The
not
pockets
quite.
wasn't going that far because I think
They
he
were
had
not good.
repossessions and all types of stuff,
She
fake
had
green
a
cards.
foreclosure notice and all. I don't
Yeah,
play that. I
it's
don't even
like
roll like
going
that.
into a marriage. You need to know somebody's finances inside and out, and it did not ever gave. I'm a rich Nigerian man. It never gave that. Now he might got money, but he ain't a rich Nigerian man.
Yeah,
Why?
this whole reunion, everybody got on my nerves in their own little way.
Hell, the
Shamea
only one that was
especially.
mild mannered was Cynthia. She didn't even, she
Yes.
wasn't popping.
And you know what I said? We said in conversation. I told you when we was talking about her before. Cynthia has been in every position that these girls are in.
Hmm.
Minus having like a major scandal. She's been in every position. She's navigated a friendship on the show. She's navigated a marriage on the show. She's had to raise, her
Hell,
child
two
while
marriages on
being,
the show.
yeah,
Two.
two marriages on the show. Was
Hmm.
it two? Yeah, two marriages on the
Yep,
show.
because that
So it is
man
because she got married.
yeah. Then he moved her to California. Then she moved back to Atlanta when she realized that shit wasn't working out.
Yeah, it just didn't last. I think they kind of moved a little fast too, but
Yeah, they
hey.
definitely did. Hmm.
So she's done a lot of different things on the show, and I think being one of the people that the girls can go to for advice is I think it says a lot about just who she is as a person because you don't really hear too many bad things about Cynthia. She has her quirks like everybody else, and you would think that with Phaedra coming back on the show that maybe she could be a source of like guidance for people, but Phaedra
Well,
is,
she was
you
to
know,
Brit and Grenada. She was that to Brit, and they
a
even
little
said
bit.
something about it. But Phaedra is so damn messy. That veil that she tries to put on, sometimes it gets lifted, and you see the real her. With Phaedra, it's hard. I feel like for her to be not the ghetto ratchet chick. I think it's hard. Like she only knows how to be that. She can't turn it off. There's no turn off. Even when she's like doing business and she's on her business, it still gives like I'm the down chick from South. Like that's just who Phaedra is. So yeah, she's wise. She's graceful. She's a very good Southern belle. But that's a messy ass bitch right there. Like just
They're
messy.
all messy in their own little way, but I think that, like I said, I think Cynthia being like the anchor of it all to
Very
kind of hit,
classy.
to kind of hold people together, I think she played her part very well. And I also think that her saying that I haven't talked to Kenya since that whole thing went down. I think that says a lot too because for us to have been friends for as long as we've been friends and I don't take your
Hmm.
side and I tell you that you were dead ass wrong for doing that and you don't talk to me but you talk to everybody else. What did I say differently than everybody else said?
Hmm. Kiki didn't want a real honest. conversation from somebody that really knows her. This is a woman that hung out with her outside the cameras, outside of social media, genuinely on Sundays, having brunch, chilling at home. They got they down clothes on. They no makeup, all that.
Yeah.
Like that woman really, really knows her. I think Kenya was probably afraid of a real conversation from a real friend. And the fact that she did cut her off the way that she did, that just shows that Kenya is not remorseful for what she did. That proves that to me right there. Because she can go online all day and do all these apologies. But if you cannot reach back out to Cynthia, that just proves me right. It's that's weird. Now, in a friendship, you should be able to say, friend, now you know damn well you was doing wrong, or friend, now you know you should have did that. Like you should be able to be honest with your friends. That's how this goes. It's just like any other relationship. You hold that person accountable, but Kenya can't handle it. So yeah, she gonna go back to them yes bitches. That's what she gonna do.
My thing though, because they were getting into, even Shamea was like, well, who was the housewife? Because Portia be trying to slick be. Sometimes Portia will try to, by not trying to reveal who said what, you're almost being complacent
Yeah,
in the shit that happened, and you're upholding, you're like almost, I want to say upholding her in her wrongs, but with you not trying to reveal everything, it's kind of like you, I don't know, you're not helping the situation.
yeah,
Should just say, why would Drew be the one to go dig up something on Britt when Drew and Britt were trying to build or forge a friendship? Because for the longest time they were not, I'm not gonna say they weren't just rocking with each other, but they weren't really the closest.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it never get that, they weren't thick as thieves. They weren't Britt and Kelly. So
That would
why
come
would
from
she do
left
that?
field. Yeah,
Why what motive would she have to do something like that? And then she was like, I mean, I thought about it. At first I thought about it, and I thought it was true, but then I was like, well, why would she do something like that? So if it wasn't occurring, maybe Kenya lied, because
yeah.
when on the thing you said you hired a private investigator, but then you
Mm-hmm.
turn around and told Portia it was a current housewife, and then when it comes out, well, I never said that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, where did you get those pictures from? Did you go snooping yourself and then but try to pass it off as I hired somebody?
But it
Or
wasn't even Brit. It
yeah, but
wasn't
even
even her.
still, right? Let's just say that it was. It's still low. It's
Yeah,
still low, and you still, and if the pictures aren't that hard to find, why did you go through so much trouble finding them if they weren't
and
so hard
then
to
blew
find?
them up and put them on big ass poster boards. Like
Yeah,
what?
and then it's like, and then but like Portia said, that's on production too, because
Mm-hmm.
when you have somebody making threats about a pistol, yeah, I'm gonna be, yeah, I don't want to film with her. I have every right to be fearful of my life, because why the fuck would you bring that up? It never gave that, and it was never that deep for you, Brittany, to ever even say that
Yeah.
to her, or
Now
in
was
her
Kenya
presence.
picking on Brit? Yes, I do feel like Kenya was definitely picking with Brit. But Brit, she
It was a two-way street, honestly.
yeah, Brit, I was gonna say Kenya was getting it as well from Brit. But I feel like okay, they didn't like each other. You don't make pistol plays. Like that's
Hell no, it
never what this
never ever
does.
gave that. Excuse me. I think that, like Portia said, I've been knowing Kenya for a long time, and I know how Kenya is when she feels threatened, or when she feels, like she been got. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? You can't control how Kenya's gonna react. Kenya is a loose cannon, so Kenya's gonna react in whatever way she feels is necessary. And according to Portia, well, she felt very remorseful about what she did. She knew it was wrong. I highly doubt that, because you knew, first of all, at your event where it was supposed to have been about you, you made it about somebody else.
But I mean, with the message, because I end up going to her business Instagram page, right? It's very woman empowered. It's very uplifting women, black women specifically. For
Yeah, but that
that to
night wasn't
be
that.
Yeah, for that to be the motive of, not the motive, but that if that to be the drive of your business, that specific business, for you to bring another black woman down like that, despite how you feel about her, you could have just been like, you know, just did a little speech. In recent weeks, I've had somebody try to threaten me, but I'm still thriving. I'm still going. I'm still making new businesses. I'm still doing well. I'm still putting my daughter in a position to where she don't never have to work too hard in the rest of her life. Like that's the angle it should have went. But it's like just because somebody take it low with you, you don't always got to go to hell. You don't have to go past fucking hell and kiss the devil. You don't have to do that.
I think
That was evil.
Kenya's responses have a lot to do with her not being close with her mom. That's just what I think. And that's not
Hmm.
really much of an excuse, but the relationships you have with your mom really dictates the relationships that you have with other women in your life too, because what in your what in your head made you think I'm gonna shame this girl for being naked, and then for the pictures not only to even be her,
Hmm.
like that's this
That's
season
wild.
really just was a lot in and
It
of itself.
was.
And Brittany is the biggest coward, because why would you create all the drama and then, well, because as you can see, I'm not at the reunion, and so
And then Travis
I've come to
too.
learn that the pictures that were at Kenya's party, they were not of me. Like, girl,
That was some coward shit. Cause she could have came to the reunion. Britt's fucking position on the show was never threatened. I think when when they filmed the season finale, I think she had already came up in her head that she was not gonna come to the reunion because she dug herself into hole after hole after hole. And she was messy for no reason. Like every time you look up, it's like, damn, Britt, again, like something else again. She would have had to explain when they was sending things to Grenada. Why did you only give scraps? It looked like she literally picked up stuff as she was walking through. I guess I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this too. Like, girl, you pulled up in a Rolls Royce. Like, come on now, what's going on? I don't know. Britt, I feel like was nervous, scared, a coward because she didn't want to
Brit
have to
don't like to be.
confront.
I'm about to say she don't like to be held accountable. You can't dish it
Mm-mm.
out, but then not be willing to take it, and that be her thing
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yep. Britt is a messy
She ain't no
girl.
good friend either. I don't see how any friendships with her have lasted because you don't give me the vibe of whatever you say to me stays with me. Whatever you say to me is gonna come out when I'm pissed off. I like to
And
go to hell, and it's like
yeah,
that's some shit that you the type of bitch that collects ammo.
yeah,
You collect some of my deepest darkest secrets, and you're secretly harboring it for ammo.
yeah.
So when we do get into it, and then I want to go to hell, I can do that.
Hmm. That's a messy ass bitch.
That yeah, very much. She's just not. She's just boring on the show. She
Yeah.
doesn't really give much. Her life is just not it.
Mm-mm. But I mean, I feel like that's everything that we said we was gonna come and talk about, y'all. Because honestly, it is a lot going on in the media. It is, but it's not. But it's a lot of like sad stuff. So I didn't want to have to fill up our whole live stream with sadness. We gotta do these more often, shit. Just randomly come live on their asses. Because our goal is to be able to, like, when we do our live streams, we want to make sure those are a podcast. And maybe if we have guests, things like that, like dedicate that live feed with our podcast for sure. And then we just got to do better with putting those out because we can talk about hot topics all day. This is always stuff is always in the media, but it's fun.
I think we're just gonna do it a little differently when we talk about hot topics. Like these are cool and these are fun, but like I think we're gonna try to make the hot topics more relatable to
Hmm.
our lives and try to get more personal. I don't know what word I'm trying to use, but
I
y'all know what I'm
think
trying to say.
personal. I think that's what you look
Try to
for.
get more personal with the content instead of just being another pop culture celebrity podcast because there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
But I've always said we don't have to do hot topics. We can talk about them, like the whole thing with Portia and Shamea and how they're not being the best of friends to each other. That's a hot topic in and of itself on the show, but also it's like, okay, what would that look like in a friendship? In our friendship, let's say we've been friends for 20 years. What would that look like? How would that, you know what I'm saying?
A
There
child near
there
winter.
there's always ways, go to hell. There are always ways that you can make a hot topic more relatable and more on the level of, like, normal everyday
Mm-hmm.
people. Not to say that they not everyday people, but anyway.
That reminds me of what's that man? Is that John Legend? Everyday people. I think that's John Legend.
Ordinary people.
Ordinary people. God damn, I done fucked it up.
It's
Y'all
time
get
for us
through
to
it.
go. She's giving songs different titles and shit.
Messed up. He can't sing no way. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It don't matter. But thank y'all for coming and watching and chilling. And hopefully we come back soon. And we don't ghost y'all. We'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.
Bye.